Alright, so I'm gonna do a mini mulligan guide real quick. I'm gonna quickly go over the deck again real quick. So this is the EAW version. So Kylo replaced Maul's lightsaber. In this version, I have one cheat and one feint. Um, and it's two lightsaber pulls over the feint and the cheat, and then the sound the alarms. The two of them are overheated motives. Um, so like the dilemma here is that cheat is very good at reusing things like leadership and whatnot, especially since you could be in more grindy games against like R2P2. Um, the question you kind of want to ask yourself at that point is do you just want to cut a force illusion to have a second cheat in the deck? Because feint, you kind of need an ID9 or to have been comboing for feint to be super viable. Because if you, let's say if you have an ID9, now when you trigger it, you're going to end up having three, and three ID9s does ridiculous amounts of work. So it's like, okay, that's fine, or like a subsequent round. Um, and then if you're doing any of the whole like price of failure or leadership things, uh, feint having a third or fourth ID9 droid becomes the absolute nuts because oh, you showed discard, okay, I'll just take my entire opponent's hand. Okay, now I'll do whatever I want for the rest of the round. So like cutting them seems kind of weird there, but I did decide to do that. I don't have an issue with cutting a force illusion there because it seems like it's fine. It's just that like against Sabine Ezra and stuff, you could have problems because force illusion's actually your best defense versus that because sound the alarm and doubt could just end up popping damage on you. Um, so just keep that in mind. But so we'll go over some mulligan things here. So in general, the key cards we want to start with are pull, or in order, I guess I would say this is the most key card is ID9. Then any form of lightsaber, ancient lightsaber or lightsaber pull, are the secondaries because that's like the big thing. After that, there's just all sorts of different options between like your removal and whatnot. You don't want to have a rise again. You don't really want the Z6. You could kind of keep a Kylo in your hand if the rest of your hand's kind of stacked, because you're gonna need to pitch to a reroll anyways. So getting it out of the way could be viable there. But you are 100% looking for that 2-drop, and I like to keep leaderships if I have some of the stuff, either to go into the next round or to potentially hit a resource and go off of. So let's say I started with this. You don't keep high places in a non-ID9 opening because the odds of getting to your 7 are really low. So like I'll explain after we go through stuff, but for the most part, I would expect to pretty much keep a pull and he doesn't like you here, and ditch the rest. Like we could potentially try to do something with the price of failure, but it kind of just weakens us overall. So we just want to kind of see what happens. Hope to get some removal or something and go from there. So like this is fine. Um, so my expectation here would just be to cast out the ancient lightsaber. So now we'll have 6 dice, and if we started on our field, which we really don't have an issue doing, like giving them some shields in the long run doesn't really matter because when we go for the kill, we're going for a combo kill anyways. Kind of doing it versus R2P2 may matter a bit, because you're going to take one off of Ray, but then the hope there is that between Sienna and Guavian, you've been able to block a bit. So let's say we rolled, okay? And now the thing is that most of the time you're going to end up trying to threaten with Sienna and not activate her, so that you could potentially like threaten leadership and make them play kind of funny. See, so like in this situation, we hit the 2 on Guavian, which is only 1 and 6, and now we only have 5. So like in order for us to get the 7 here, we would have needed either the 2 or the 3 to show up on one of these 3 dice, with the rest of them being viable. So the thing here is that now we could decide, all right, well, let's go lightsaber pull. We could go find the Kylo saber, but the thing is, if we find the Kylo saber and throw it away, we make our friends in low places much worse, and better at the same time, because it's worse in the fact that we can't find this card to off of the friends in low place, but if we hit either of the rise agains, then we can get the Kylo saber play. Um, so now we also can't activate Sienna if we're going to plan to do that because of the whole um, like leadership thing. So like this is where the complications arise because like we could take 2 shields, 2 damage, and a resource and be content with this round, and then like he doesn't like you him, and go into the next round being pretty happy overall. So like trying to do the friends in low places doesn't make huge sense here. So like let's say we go roll a Sienna. Let's say we don't want to do disrupt. We could pitch those and re-roll. Could re-roll all of those. We keep the resource because it's the resource. So like with this, sure, we have the 7 now. So we could YOLO the friends in low places, or we could try to save it for the next round. Saving for the next round would get you into like different situations. So like, what do you want to do here? Now let's say we cast this. Let's say we think about, or we're just considering it. Now, if we find any leaderships, they're useless to us. Price of failure, we would have to give up one of these 2 guys who are showing good sides. Rise again would be good because we get the Kylo Saber if we've taken any damage. But then, like, would we have just cast friends in low places and I mean, he doesn't like you instead, and have eaten something? Probably. So, like, in that situation, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even try to friends in high places. I would just like, he doesn't like you off the disrupt. Okay, then hit someone for 2, grab a couple shields, and grab 2 money. Um, if we wanted to, we can throw the 4 solution down to find an additional card. We'll be at 3. So there isn't a big difference to us between 3 and whatever. If we find an upgrade, we could upgrade over the illusion. So like maybe we would have taken 3 damage there, somewhere in between with the shields or whatnot. Like they could have been disrupted some of our stuff, but now like this situation becomes much better because we still get the Guavian rollout, but um, we could overwrite the illusion into a Z6, and let me think. So even if we don't, let's say we don't overwrite that, we just cast the Z6. So now the likelihood of hitting for the friends in high places is really high. But if they have removal, they're probably going to cast it. So like when you hit this, you're just like, oh, okay. Um, let's assume they're gonna get rid of the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're short 1. Um, so we would just leave it and be okay with this, I think. Kind of just see what happens. But we would probably aftermath, because if they left it alone, they left it alone. Friends in high place. Probably hit like a rise again or a leadership here. Yeah. So we could overwrite the illusion, or depending on if we had used it. Yeah. So doubting something might have made sense. And then when we rise again, yeah, like we don't really want to even grab any of these. Sorry, when we cast it, we could have just cast it on her. I wouldn't overwrite the illusion. I don't know why I would try to even do that. And then on this one, we could just rise again into the Kylo and get rid of the illusion. And it sets up for subsequent rounds. So like would have got fully healed, and we would now have the Kylo there. Just remember that playing the upgrades on Sienna is fine, because most of the time we're not going to like sacrifice her. It's not even an overwrite, because we would just get rid of the other card. Or potentially have used it, depending on what's going on. And then when we activate her, we'll have the ID9 in also. Blah blah blah. But like that's the expectations of what you're doing. This is not necessarily high enough to get a kill, but it kind of is, because we could keep the 1 there. So that like that's 7. The double focus would have been 11, and we could get one more here with the 1 if we wanted. But you would like resolve damage and do stuff first, and then the subsequent 5 would have been probably leadership. Yeah, leadership, price, and like that's the expectation of what we'd be doing more often than not. It's kind of just turtle. Don't try to go crazy with the opening stuff. But let's go look for another opening hand. And like that's the one thing about like this deck, because you can kind of goldfish a lot. Like if people interrupt your plan, you just move on. Like sure, if someone interrupted the high places there, it would have been whatever. I don't know why I need that one. So this thing works very similarly again. We don't care about the high places. Let me think. We have 2 pieces of removal. We have the ancient. We could try to go for a like an aftermath or something, but I don't think I'd care enough. I'd want to get the Kylo saber in the yard. Yeah. Like we could try to go for an ID9, which we could attempt for. I just like the greed play, and I don't want to get stuck with like a rise again in hand. That I would try to keep, but stuff's always available. So like most of our rounds are gonna start with just like an ancient doing stuff. So like I said, we just go grab the Kylo, and then we'll ditch it, and I would re-roll the 1 here on the 7th because we have 40% to hit the resource side, and I really want to hit it. Actually, beyond that, I'd probably activate Sienna because I don't plan to boundless this round. Yeah, and then if he doesn't like you, it'd probably be off of this, and we would ditch the doubt to try to then find the resource side again. Like, I think I would then throw it away the 3rd time, but I would re-roll the Guavian this time. Okay, so yeah, I would dish my balance like a big jackass, trying to get more money, and I would have failed. But like I was showing 5 already, so like how do I complain? All right, so let's go try this again. Oh, just to show the 5. Wait, oh yeah, because I pulled. We would have went to the next round with the ID9 and leadership, price of failure, and like kind of just win right there off of those. If you can untap twice in a round and you have an ID9 out, like it's some obscene amount of damage. Because we'd have 1-2, get to use it, leadership, then it would be 2-3, get to use them, price of failure 3-4, and have used the whole thing the whole way. Like if you find a focus side on one of them at some point, when you focus, you kind of you fix the first one and leave it there. Wait, what did I delete? How did I lose a card? So like this hand's one of those really junky hands. I would ditch the entire thing. I would like to keep the aftermath for when we try to do like price of failure stuff or set up for the subsequent round. But finding that 2-drop is just too important, and we found it now. So yeah, it's pretty much just go find Ancient Lightsaber, and we're starting almost every game with it because the math dictates that we do. If you're starting on your battlefield, don't forget you probably activate your 7th sister first. And if the opponent has a bunch of damage sides, like let's say you're playing as Rainbow 5, 7th sister would first activate to take like a small one, and then you would take like a 2 with a Guavian after. Yada yada. So yeah, that 2's it. Guavian takes some damage. So we have 2 money there, so that's gonna be great. If we want, we use the discard to disrupt them a bit. We're not gonna leadership, so we go get Sienna in. She'll take more damage. So we've got 1, and overall we're pretty happy with this. The ID9, if we were looking for a better side, would be like, we don't even care about the 1 damage usually, so it'd be like 1 damage, focus, shield. The only things we don't want to see are like discard, disrupt. But because of what we have available, we could kind of take some risks a little bit here. So like I'd pitch the feint. If I wanted the money, I could risk it, but it's only 33%. So I'd kind of just question where I'm going with it. So I'd re-roll these. If they had available stuff for like disrupt, then that's the decision I'd have to make. I'd probably end up doubting something. Cast an aftermath, and I'd pitch the d6 to re-roll these again. The ID9 droid hated us. But yeah. So we would get 3 resources, do 2 damage, and go into the next round with 5. Probably take like 3 damage. We'd have took like 2 here, maybe like 2 here. Probably wouldn't have been 3 here, but let's go ahead and assume that's correct. So yeah, this sets us up for a very good place. So we could go find Kylo Saber. And the thing here is that I would actually cast the Kylo Saber, because we have the price of failure, so we're expecting to hit hard here. Plus the friends in high places makes the Kylo Saber very good. We could actually cast both. What am I saying? We would start it a bit slower depending on what happens. Because if we can get a kill in, that's fine, but we want to be able to boundless. So if we hit the ancient, so let's see. The math here is only on these 4. I think we'd be okay with this, just because we would expect to see our dice twice. Plus, once we price a failure, we'd have the 1. So the expectation would be that they would disrupt something. If they didn't, we get to friends in high places first. The leadership would untap and would cause massive amounts of issues here for people. The dilemma is that we don't have money. So like, this price of failure dies out a horrible death unless we kill somebody. If we can kill somebody for the 6, then we'd get the money and just go off, because we could boundless from here after shielding, then like reroll, do stuff off of it, price of failure, untap, do again, like murder more people, and probably price of failure a second time to end the game. So like, it's all based on what happens. But the overall hope round 1 is to just get money, but we take what we get. Yeah. But yeah, like, I really have no problem with just taking the your own battlefield if you really feel like it. If your opponent has like defensive positions and stuff too, it can like screw with them. So this hand is the one that could be potentially explosive. Like, we could go ID9 into a price of failure in the first round if we wanted to. The likelihood of wanting to do that's not very great. It's not amazing. but I think I would keep the hand for the potential of it in general. So like the thing here is that this represents 6 now, so with that it's 7. So it's much easier to do this high places. Alright, we hit a blank, so we ditch the Z6. I'd reroll all 3, because the expectations are high, we want good stuff. Oh, okay. And then we had the 2 already, so if we got a blank back, it didn't matter as long as it wasn't one of the ID9 droids. So like that represents a whole lot. We could high places, find the rise again. So now the thing here is that we would pretty much flip those 2. We could have flipped this to do 6, but we would have did this, did 4 to somebody. Actually, no, we would have flipped that. I lied, sorry. We would have flipped this only because we want to use it. So we would have did that, did 6. This would have got used up. Price of failure him away. We had no money, but if we needed to doubt something, we would doubt. So yeah, maybe we should have kept shield, but I'm greedy. So we would have did 6 already. That'd be 9, 12, 13. But like this is all theoretical stuff over and over. The shields would have represented 3 health to go on 7, and we had all the other damage represented already, so there's kind of no point to risk what we did. But it goes back to just trying to make sure we have that stable opening. So like leadership here would be a really greedy play that you could do. I've done it a lot of times. Like let's say we're playing against like Rainbow Fives, I might keep the leadership because I feel like I need to quote unquote kill their guy. But in most situations I don't think we do, so I don't want to keep it. I kind of want to find other stuff. If I think like there's big stuff I would want to concern, I'll keep the he doesn't like you. If not, I could like ditch it. If they're a slow deck, I'd probably just keep the doubt. Oh, that's a hand. So yeah, goes away. We hope for some cool money. We got cool money. We got super cool money. Question now is how to proceed. I don't really want to get rid of a single leadership at all, but I don't have an issue with it. Take 2 resources. We get leadership. If we doubt something, then we could boundless and keep the leadership through the next round. Then we like pitch Z6 to reroll. We don't want this disrupt either. Get 2 money. So like this is kind of a turning point situation, because we're at 7 now. So then we get the ID9 droid, and now we kind of like start to want to gamble, because we'll take the 2 damage. All right, we'll disrupt if they have money. Sack him to untap. So we've dealt 2. And we have another 7. We don't particularly need the money, but let's say we took some damage, we could set up for a rise again. But we're not going to. We're going to greed this play. I guess I could keep the shield. It's just if you hit the, it's 30% to hit the a focus, and they could also hit the shield or hit damage. Yeah, so just hit shields again. And then like at this point you question whether you really want damage or not, because that's 7, and we dealt 2 already. So like if that's not enough to kill a guy, but we'd be super close, then we could go for it. But if we give up the leadership, we kind of know that they're both gone, but we can cheat them back. Alright, so yeah, so now we have 4, 3, 2, so it's 9 more damage. Get a shield, and get 3 money. So then we're going into the next round with 7 resources, and we can just cast Rise again. Like with this setup, did we Kylo already? Didn't Kylo, so we'd go find Kylo. Cast Kylo. And have 6 dice to start. Get to do whatever cool stuff we wanted. Doubt something. If we needed to, we could heal 2 and then go find it again with the lightsaber pull. That's just obscene. Now it's just super obscene, because that's a 2, 3, 9, 10. Like that's a nut roll. But if we burnt out of stuff, then we could boundless and most likely find a cheat. Or actually, I think this version only did this version only have 1 cheat? I think this version only had 1 cheat. Yeah, so at this point we just use her up Price of Failure and kill them, because it's so much dice. Yeah, I don't mind keeping leaderships. I tend to not keep Price of Failures in the openings. It's just not. It's not worth killing the guy usually, unless your hand dictates some crazy shit. But if you can smoke a guy off the table, you'll like put yourself in an extremely good position. So like in this situation, I would keep the he doesn't like you, but I would ditch the ancients and keep the aftermath. So like we kind of want some other stuff, but we don't care nearly as much. So the ID9 droid, because of the shields and different stuff, I can set up relatively well here. So like if we take ours, Guavian, whatever, blah blah blah. If we go into the next round relatively healthy, or just have money, we can crush. And the thing here is that represents 3 discard, which could ruin an entire round for somebody. So like even if you have to, he doesn't like you, this die, we could set ourselves up in a good place to end this round with money. So if we did like the 3 discard to ruin stuff, pitch the ancient to reroll these 3. Meh. Oh, those were used up earlier. I don't know if I would pitch the rise again. Because, like, what are we representing here for stuff? We'd probably just go the short path and just do like an aftermath, and he doesn't like you on something. Probably pop a shield and take 2. But like, if you discard 3 somebody, that's enough to mess up the entire round for them. And then we have 2 to start. Pretty good odds to hit stuff. We'd probably use that 2 up right away. And then this is another 4. So if you used up the 4, did whatever with it, this would put us to 3. I think we'd pitch a rise again here. Shield, sack, untap, get a 4th one. Pretty good odds to kill somebody here and get to the 5th. Yeah, like that should def kill somebody. And once you get to the 5th one, you could then just rise again to pull back the ancient and put yourself in a very good police. And then while you're doing that shit, you have cheat to go to the next round with. So like you're really just trying to stick that 2-drop. Not do anything insane. Don't die. And then combo kill somebody. So like in this hand, I wouldn't keep the like I'd keep the ancient, but I wouldn't keep the high places. I don't mind keeping the rest of this because the expectation, like I said, is not to go anywhere crazy with this, and we don't mind finding the Kylo. We have the sound the alarm, so we're okay with it. If we hit the +3, like shit happens, we get rid of the friends in high places, but doing it too early isn't very good anyways. So yeah, we'd like 2 something. Do that. If we felt the close was clear at some point, when you focus, you do this to the 3 because that's still a shield. The focuses you have to remember is like a differential. So on ancients, it's a +2 when you go from 1 to 3. On this, it's technically a +2 when you go from shield to the 2. So if you can go +2 here, it's just more preferable because you maintain the shield. If you go +2 here, you lost the shield. So you do that, or even just like reroll, depending what you want to go find Kylo, then reroll off of it. You're just really taking what you get most of the time. Try not to be too greedy trying to find the resource when you have other viable stuff already going on. So like this one, you kind of like, oh my god, I could do some broken stuff, but without the ID9, you don't really want to do this. I actually don't mind keeping the leadership there because I like those first round of leaderships when you're doing stuff and you're getting 4 dice off of it. So like I don't mind keeping leadership there if something happens. So grab pull, ancient. So in this situation, you're probably just he doesn't like you off of that die. But depending on how slow we're going with people, we'll do stuff. Go grab Kylo. And like you could also think in this place like, oh, I want to just find Ancient to keep it for the next round so I can cast it. And that's not bad per se. I like to use my hand. I would reroll the Ancient also. Like I don't mind getting +3, but I want the money. So like here you're just like jackpot, because you'd get to go to 5. You get the 2 resources to be back at 2. You could he doesn't like you this die away. Then you could leadership and untap. Oh no, you can't leadership. What am I saying? Oof, I'm retarded. Discard the card, blah blah blah, and you'll have doubted something. So then in the next wave, you'll have 4. Be capable of doing the rise again, or in this case, you could just Z6. So Z6, go do stuff with it. Yeah, and you're gonna have money for rise again in the next round. Don't ask why this guy keeps hitting 2. Shh, it's a secret. So 2, you get the 3. Get 2 money to go back to 3. Leadership. So then discard pile. You probably cast a sound alarm or ditch it. Now you would keep the cheat because of what it represents. When you find stuff, because you could double price of failure here. And I think you go for the gusto on damage. Yeah. So like 7 could go kill a guy, but we would probably boundless unless we felt the coast wasn't clear for some reason. To try to see if we could find the aftermath. We got 15 cards left in deck. There's 2 Rise Agains left. There's a Kylo in the bin. I guess we would Friends in low places first, so we don't just burn a card from hand. See if we hit the Rise Again or an Aftermath or something. So this is where I failed, because if I had Price of Failure, then the Feint would have applied. But the problem is that if I did that Feint, in order to do it, I would have needed to pick up my dice. So I couldn't do it with Friends in low places anyways, so it didn't matter. But I could. He doesn't like you here if I needed to. Yeah. So like I'd probably just grab this to get the +1. Unless I wanted it. He doesn't like you. Someone's die. Because that'll sack the guy to untap. I could do 1 or if I get the resource, that means I could cheat on the next action to Price of Failure again. Do 7. Tap again. If I wanted to, I could have that 1 available for the additional die. Or I could have spent 1 to have 1 for that additional die, then boundless off of it. But I think it's not necessary. I think replacing those makes the most sense. But actually, I could just go cheat for the price. Switch this out. Untap him. Boundless. Get you an ID9 droid to fix these. What's left in the deck? Friends in low places could find the other Rise again. So pull back the ID9 droid. Yeah. Pitch the Rise again. Oh, we're pitching this thing too. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, so that thing hated us. So yeah, we would go take the 4. Immediately tap again. This is why you gotta be careful with the stupid Z6 there. But like, that many ID9s usually just means game. Because now this is 5, 4, 3. Like that's 12 on its own. Man, they hate us. But between that and the damage we've already dealt, that should have murdered everything. And we got 4 cards left in deck. Yeah. We priced off to her already, so boop. But I don't know. Hopefully that was helpful. A lot of fishing. Whole lots of fishing. So like in this opening, you're fine with those. If you felt they were aggressive, you could keep the 4 solution. That would ditch the rest. Yeah. Like you're pretty much gonna go ancient, throw stuff away. Probably keep a price of fairy through the next round. Maybe cast a 4 solution depending on what comes down. But your normal great hope is to just find money and get whatever, decent damage out. Sienna's very good at finding money. Just make sure that if you know you can't leadership at all, you do stuff correctly. Oh yeah, hold on, I gotta throw one of these dice out. Get all those blanks out of the way. Yeah, so we got 1 money there, so like we could decide at that point if we felt 4 solution was a better keep. Then sound the alarm. There you go, 2 damage. If we only wanted 1 resource, this represents 4 more here, so that's 6. Could have hit hard. Or we could have just did 2 and had an additional money. But I think in the situation, if I had this, like that, I think I would actually take the 2 money, take the 1 damage, probably price a failure. Because now we're representing a whole lot of damage here. So we dealt 3 damage already. I would reroll the ancient because that's likely getting focused anyways. So yeah. And we have 7 more. So that's 10. That could have just killed the guy right there. And if we killed one of their big guys off of that, then that pretty much ends the game. Because trying to get in before Rise Agains and leaderships and stuff, just it's like near impossible. So like you would lightsaber pull here, go again, and do stuff because we had 2 money left over. So we have 4 right now. Like that's easy. But alright, I'll stop this video. Hopefully it was helpful, guys. And it's 45 minutes of me gold fishing with the combo deck. Deuces.